to the next episode of NetKno The Networking Show. So, on this episode, I want to actually clarify what networking is. So, when it comes to networking, we think about networking. I ask this question a lot to people when I'm delivering training. What words come to mind when you think about networking? And often it's fear, terror, awkward, bad coffee, sometimes free booze. That's always nice. Lots of kind of social awkwardness, but then people often go a little deeper and they talk about, this fear of they don't know what to say, or what if they say something wrong, or what if they're stupid, or imposter syndrome. And actually, it's not what networking's all about. So I want to set the record straight with this episode, and we're going to delve deep into what is networking and what does it mean for you. So I'm going to start by looking at networking events, and that's going to be a focus of a lot of episodes that we cover, and looking at what to expect from networking events. Often it's this fear of the unknown that prevents us from attending. But networking event environments and going to a networking event it's just a tiny little bit of what networking's all about. Networking is all about just building relationships, just talking to people. So even if you have never set foot in a networking event, you still have a network. You know other humans. You have family and friends and neighbors and people you went to school with and people that you chat to on the bus maybe, or in the line to buy the coffee. Any interaction that you have with another human, that is networking. So I want us to get out of this mindset of just those rooms, those spaces, those environments where you walk in and it's that room full of strangers and everyone stood around talking to each other and you feel the odd one out, because they're the vulnerable places. That's the scary bit. Actually going and just having a conversation and sitting and having a coffee with a friend, catching up with someone over the phone or on a Zoom call, going for a business meeting, sitting in a boardroom with your colleagues, that is networking as well. So I want you to start thinking about networking as not just those single spaces that are scary. And I'm going to teach you how to get over that fear, I promise. It's not just about that. It's about any time we interact with another person, the impression that we are leaving on them about who we are, what we stand for, telling them about what we're about as people and what our businesses do, or what we're researching, whatever it is. Every interaction, that is a networking opportunity. You are building a brand for yourself in the mind of someone else. And when you do that effectively, when you realize that you are constantly always networking and you put yourself into that mindset of, right, what kind of impression did I just leave on that person? And these are tiny little things that we can do in our day-to-day lives that really build this brand for ourselves. Things like holding the door for someone, or like holding the lift. My husband is massive on this. When you're driving, I'm quite road ragey these days. Don't know why. Don't know if it's my age. But I've got absolutely no time for stupidity on the roads. It's dangerous, and I will not stand for it. But my husband, he'll proactively look for ways that he can let other drivers out. I think he gets a nice little kick of when they give a wave. But if they don't give a thank you wave and he's let them out, my word, if he then went somewhere, like you see this all the time, you see little like memes and stuff or little videos where someone's going for a job interview and then they cut someone in the car park, they cut into a parking space, and then they go into the job interview and the person that they cut in was the person that's now interviewing them, and they're just screwed basically. Again, it's these little interactions that we leave the impression of ourselves on someone else. They're the things that can make or break our future opportunities. And, whether or not you say thank you to someone for holding the door for you, whether or not you, give someone a wave when they let you out of the car park or whatever it is, those interactions, they play a big part. And this is what networking is. It's connecting with other people. It's building meaningful relationships, which obviously you can't do by giving a wave in the car, but that can add on to existing relationships. It's going for a coffee, it's having lunch, it's checking in on someone or having a phone call with them if they've had a crappy day. Those are the little things that over time, because networking is a long-term game. It's very rarely that you meet a new person and they need to buy from you or they want to work with you straight away. It takes time. And that's because within our relationships, within networking, there's three things that needs to exist. People need to firstly know that we exist. They need to know that you are there. They know what you do. They know what your area of expertise is. They know what your business is. They know what research you're doing, whatever it is. They need to know that you exist. They need to like you, because if they don't like you, they ain't going to want to work with you, and they ain't going to recommend you to other people either. So again, this is going to impact and affect our opportunities. And finally, there needs to be trust. People need to trust that you are a trustworthy person, your character, but they equally need to trust that you can do what you say you're going to do, that you are good, that you are knowledgeable in your area of expertise. And especially that trust element. People can quickly get to know you. They can quickly like you. We make that kind of split decision quite fast. But that trust element that plays into our networks and our relationships, that's the bit that takes time. That's the bit that builds gradually with our colleagues, with our relationships, friendships, with our partners, whoever it is. That trust, that is the bit that you need to really put the energy into. And it's not just in those networking event rooms, in those environments. That's when you get the chance to meet lots of new people. Those environments are the catalyst to quickly get to know and potentially like different people. But it's the trust, it's that bit. That's the bit that can be the make or break. And that's the one that is so fickle, but so powerful. And when you build relationships with that at the core, at the center, at the heart of it, that's when all these amazing opportunities come around. Doors open for you, both professionally and personally. People recommend you, they put you forward for opportunities. There are so many benefits, which I'm going to cover in another episode. But please just think of networking not just as those scary spaces, but as something that you do every single day, every time you send an email, every time you have a call or a coffee. That is networking. And it shouldn't be something to be scared of. It should be something to be excited about and be celebrated and look at as the massive opportunity that it is. So hopefully that has debunked a bit of what we think about when it comes to networking. And not to scare you, but you're doing it all the time, whether you like it or not. So next time you go out and you have a catch up with someone or you buy a coffee from someone, think about that interaction and think about, right, in 5 years' time, if I met that person again, how would they remember me? And it's thinking about what impression you're leaving on others. And when you start getting in that mindset, you will just change the way that you interact, the way that you network, and the way that you build relationships. So that's it for this episode. Hope you loved it. On the next episode, we're going to look at all the different benefits that come from networking. So make sure that you press subscribe, you hit the bell, and I'll see you at the next episode.
A Liquid Studios production.